Hello guys, I'm Annie Otoku and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 1076. Now I know I normally don't start with the last thing that happened in the chapter, but this is insane to me. First Luffy vs Kaido, then Law vs Blackbeard, and now Kid vs Shanks. These three have really grown as characters. But I'll talk more about what actually happened at the end of the video. But anyway, starting with the cover, it's actually supposed to be a collage, and I didn't realise that until I looked at Robin, who is very clearly in a different place to everyone else. As somebody who took art as a GCSE and failed, I can say that I approve of this. So the chapter opens with Lucci and Koku continuing to talk with Luffy and Zoro about, this team up to defeat the Seraphim, and I really hope Koku, stays on our side, because I've been wanting him to change sides ever since when he ended the fight with Zoro, and it hinted at him really liking his carpenter job. Him joining the Straw Hats might be pushing it, but can he at least be Luffy's friend or something? But they very heavily hint at the fact that they're gonna betray the Straw Hats. They basically outright admit it. So anyway, then the Mihawk Seraphim goes to attack them. He slices at them. Luffy grabs Rob Lucci, Zoro grabs Koku, and everyone's fine. But we get an interesting reveal that Seraphim Mihawk has the Dice fruit, which I thought was interesting. Something else that I thought was quite cool. It's the people that battled the villains are the ones realizing, recognizing our devil fruits. Like Frankie recognized the swim fruit, Zoro recognized the dice fruit. So that was cool. It fits a swordsman, even though this Seraphim Mihawk's already got a sword. But yeah, and obviously Mr. One, Daz Bones, isn't dead. They just obviously made a clone of his devil fruit, much like with the Jinbei Seraphim. Then Nomi screams, so she's obviously being attacked. But I gotta be honest, I don't think they're gonna defeat the Seraphim in this particular battle, or maybe not even in this arc, because this arc is supposed to be quick, maybe only like Fishman Island, or Punk Hazard, or maybe even Whiskey Peak levels, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna beat them here. They might in the future, or because they just simply don't have the time to train and get stronger, and currently they don't really stand a chance, at least I don't think, based on what I've seen. But we then get a really funny scene with Lucci and Luffy. Oh, those names are so hard to say in the same sentence. But yeah, because Luffy agrees to unlock their cuffs, and Lucci is literally just like, oh, okay, but once this is done, we're gonna kill all your friends. And Koku's just like, don't tell him that. So that's funny in its own right. But then Luffy goes, oh no, that's just because you can't beat me, so you're going after my friends. And Zoro's like, he'll never fall for that bait. And Rob Lucci's like, I can beat you. And Zoro's like, he fell for the bait. That's pretty funny. I'm shocked that Luffy would think to do something like that. But yeah, I like that scene. Then Lucci's cuffs are off. Luffy goes gear fourth, and boom, they both attack the Kuma bot together. And it's honestly quite a nice scene. I know this contradicts what I said literally 5 seconds ago, but maybe if the Straw Hats team up with someone else, maybe they might stand a chance of beating the Seraphim, but I don't know. We saw that even people like Blackbeard and Bo Hancock were struggling against them, so it's definitely going to be a hard fight. Then Koku and Zoro team up and they attack the Mihawk Seraphim. What I think would be cool, and what I think a lot of people think, is if Zoro, as kind of like a test to take down Mihawk, took down the Mihawk Seraphim. Again, I don't think it's going to be in this arc unless he teams up with Koku, like it seems what might happen. But yeah, because I'm 90% sure the real Mihawk's going to be stronger than the Seraphim version. But, it'd still be cool as kind of like the first step towards beating Mihawk. We then cut over to this weird dome thing, where a ton of CP9 agents are basically saying, yeah, a ton of ships went missing, and then we all got locked in here. We blamed you, Dr. Vegapunk. So Vegapunk's locked up with them, and he seems to be a bit beaten. If I remember correctly, he's got blood running down his face. So, yeah, I'm so glad they didn't make Vegapunk a villain. Now was a second there when I thought they were going to, but I'm still for the belief that Vegapunk should join the crew. Yeah, I know, I want Vegapunk, Koku, Vivi, Bon Clay, everyone to join basically. But yeah, I really like Vegapunk. I still think he could join the crew based on what it's setting up. Although Yamato didn't last arc, and it seemed like she was going to. But yeah, so Vegapunk, he got captured by someone. There's I don't know who the traitor is, honestly. But we then get into the real meat and potatoes of this chapter, because we cut straight over to Elbaf when there's this little kid begging Shanks to take him with him. I mean, I guess he's not little since he's a giant kid, but yeah. This scene's really nice because it's obviously supposed to mirror the first chapter where Luffy was begging Shanks to take him with him, and it really gave me nostalgia. And we then get a conversation with Shanks and his crew, basically saying that they need to go fight the kid pirates. There's a couple of things that I wanted to bring up here. Ben Beckman says, I bet our enemies will be furious, and there's like enemies is like highlighted in bold, so I'm guessing he's referring to a certain enemy or a certain group of enemies there. And also, at first, Shanks says, "Oh, can you blame me? I was catching up with old friends," because, you know, his crew complaining like, "Oh, we've been here for ages." At first, I was a bit confused, like, who is he catching up with? And it wasn't until the reread of this chapter where I realised who it was. Dory and Broggy. Yep, that's right, they are back in the series. Now, at first I thought, oh, maybe one of them won that duel, but then I realised the other two giants from Water 7 are behind them, so they could have come, I guess, and been like, hey, this duel's pointless, come with us. But I don't know, there's still a possibility one of them won. Also, when I first saw this, I was hoping that Dory and Broggy had joined the Red Hair Pirates. It doesn't seem like that's the case, it just seems like they're old friends of Shanks. And he even says, do you want to come help us, like, fight Kid? And they're all for it, so, that could be pretty cool. But anyway, then Shanks says to Rockstar, who is apparently here still, yeah, I guess it's nice to see him again, but whatever. He says to Rockstar, tell Kid to, make a choice. Either leave his poneglyphs or fight and die. Or, you know, Kid might not die, but Shanks thinks that he will. So that's interesting. I would have thought that Shanks would have already had access to the poneglyphs, since he's supposed to be quite strong, but then I guess he's not willing to just go walking into Big Mom or Kaido's territory, so yeah. Hi, this is Editor Mason from the future of when I'm making this, but from the past of... I've confused myself now. But my point is, I forgot to mention, when we saw Dr. Vegapunk, he says that they've been doing poneglyph research, so that's interesting. There's definitely a lot of parallels to Ohara in this arc. So the chapter basically ends with the Kid pirates fighting what looks to be Shanks' fleet, or pirates allied with Shanks. And when Shanks shows up, they are like hugging him and everything. They're really happy to see him. But we always knew Shanks was well loved and commanded a lot of respect. My favourite character of this chapter might be Shanks. I know he doesn't do much, but with Shanks we've really got to take all the little bits we get of him. So, yeah, it's cool that the Worst Generation are now fighting the Yonko. Well, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and do that good stuff. I'll see you next time.